My name is Victoria Winters. I have lived through a terrifying week at Collinwood. Twice someone has tried to kill me. Now at last the sheriff is asking questions. And a friend has arrived in Collinsport. A friend who wants to help and protect me.
Dad, what's going on?
Hello, son. I didn't expect you so soon.
Well, I rushed to get here. Where's Vicky?
Well, she's already been in for questioning, and she left about an hour ago. She's probably back at Collinwood.
Is she all right?
For a girl who's been through what she's been through, she seems to be fine.
Good. What's happening with Roger Collins?
They're checking out his alibi, which I now have no reason to doubt.
Dad, how can you say that? Only this morning you told me that somebody's been trying to kill Vicky. Someone even tried to run her down. And that the only person with a motive was Roger Collins. You said that yourself.
Well, I was wrong. It wasn't Roger.
Well, how do you know?
He stopped at a gas station last night, miles away from Collinwood, at about the very time that Vicky was almost run down. Now, when they find the station, I'm sure the attendant will verify his story.
But if it isn't Roger who's been doing these things to Vicky, who is it? On Vicky's life, and if it isn't Roger, then she's still in danger.
Well, the sheriff's asking questions, and I have a feeling he'll come up with the right answers.
Where is the sheriff?
He's talking to his deputy. He'll be in a minute.
Has he got any other suspects?
Is he bringing another fellow in for questioning? A man named Sam Evans.
Who's he?
He's a local artist.
What's his connection with Vicky?
Oh, Mr. Garner, you still here?
I prefer to stay here until my client is free. Do you mind?
No, I don't mind at all, so long as you let me handle my business my way.
I'll be quiet as a mouse. This is my son, Frank, Sheriff. Came down from Bangor to assist me.
How do you do?
Oh, what is this, a family act?
I'd like to sit in on this too, Sheriff. I'm a friend of Vicky Winters.
Well, I don't mind, so long as you keep quiet.
It's a promise.
Yes? Oh, send him in.
George, what's going on? Why'd you send your man after me? He wouldn't tell me a thing.
Sit down, Sam. I just want to ask you a few questions.
In connection with what? Who are these gentlemen?
Roger Collins' lawyers.
What's Roger done?
Well, I don't recall saying he's done anything.
George, you can't roust a man out of his own house, drag him down here, and not tell him what's going on.
All right, I'll tell you what's going on. Someone tried to kill Vicky Winters.
Vicky?
Someone tried to run her down last night on the road from Collinsport.
Why would anyone want to kill Vicky Winters?
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out.
I don't know a thing, not a thing.
Well, Vicky says that you were the last person that she was with before the attempt was made on her life. She says you were together at the Blue Whale.
Yes. I bought her a ginger ale, we talked for a while, and that's all I know about it.
Well, she says that you asked her to meet you at the Blue Whale. Is that true?
Yes.
Well, what was the purpose of the meeting?
Well, my daughter said she told her something, and I wanted to find out what it was. She said that Vicky thought that Bill Malloy had been murdered, and she knew who the murderer was.
Since it was an accident, why are you still concerned with Bill Malloy's death?
I'm not concerned. I'm curious. I'm not unique, George. Everybody in Collinsport is curious about the way Bill Malloy died.
And that was the only reason that you set up this meeting with Vicky?
Yes.
Simple curiosity.
That's right, George. Listen, nothing that happened at the Blue Whale last night had anything to do with the accident or so-called murder attempt or whatever you want to call it.
All right. So, Vicky left the Blue Whale. What happened then?
Well, I had another drink.
Yeah, and then?
Well, I went for a drive.
A drive?
I drove down to the ocean to get a look at it at night. It's the subject for my next painting.
Well, what time did you get home?
Oh, several hours later.
You were down at the beach all that time?
The ocean happened to be very beautiful last night. I could have stayed there all night.
Well, did anyone see you?
No.
You're sure of that?
It was a deserted section of the beach. Nobody was there. That's why I went there. Well, why? why are you asking me all these questions?
I'm just trying to find out everything I can about what happened last night from anybody who had anything to do with Vicki Winters.
Well, surely you don't have some half-baked idea that I could have tried to run her down.
I don't have any ideas at all, Sam. I'm just asking questions.
Well, if that absurd little notion should enter into your head, just remember this. Two elements constitute a murder or attempted murder. Motive and opportunity. All right. All right, so I had the opportunity. Where's the motive? I like Vicki. We're good friends. She comes to our house occasionally. I even gave her a painting once. Now, what possible reason could I have for wanting to harm one hair on that girl's head?
Sheriff, would you excuse me?
Are you leaving already?
For a while, I have some business to attend to. Going to Collinwood then.
Well, you haven't answered my question, George. Why should I want to harm Vicki Winters?
All right, Sam. You can go. Hello, Chris. Sam Evans is just leaving. Keep an eye on him, will you? Right.
Who is it?
Frank Garner.
Oh, Frank, you don't know how happy I am to see you.
Vicki, what's the matter?
Nothing. It's just that so many things have been happening to me, and I was all alone here in the house.
Well, you look fine.
Thank you. Let me take your
Oh,
coat.
thank you. Well, Dad's told me what's been going on. Vicki, why didn't you get in touch with me?
I had no reason to until last night. I was afraid of Roger, but I didn't think he'd try to kill me.
Maybe he didn't.
Well, if he didn't, who did?
Vicki, what person in this house would want to harm you?
Roger.
Discounting Roger.
No one.
Are you sure?
David's weird, but I certainly don't think he'd try to kill me. And as for Carolyn and Mrs. Stoddard, we're very fond of each other.
Vicki, do you have any enemies?
Not that I know of.
You could have enemies that you don't know about.
That's a frightening thought.
What do you know about a man named Sam Evans?
Sam Evans? Not much.
Does he have anything against you?
No. Why, he's always been very friendly to me. Why?
Well, the sheriff brought him in for questioning. He can't account for his whereabouts at 8 o'clock last night, except to say that he was out for a drive. But there are no witnesses.
He wouldn't try and kill me. He has no reason.
Yeah, that's what he said. He also said that he set up a meeting with you last night at a place called the Blue Whale.
Yes, that's true.
Why? What did he want to see you about?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
Well, he wanted to ask me some questions about Bill Malloy's death. And when I wouldn't answer them, he got very angry at me.
Angry about what?
Well, he said he didn't want to be called in for another investigation.
Was Evans involved in that investigation after Malloy's death?
He was questioned.
Why?
Because of some accusations that Burke Devlin made.
What are they?
That Roger is guilty of his manslaughter charge 10 years ago. And that Sam Evans knew about it and covered up for him. But Burke has never been able to prove any of this.
Let's suppose that Devlin's theory is true.
What does that have to do with last night?
Now, Evans might have thought that you'd gotten hold of the truth somehow. That would give him a motive for wanting to kill you, Vicky.
Well, he did seem strange. In fact, he acted as though I was keeping something from him that I knew about him.
Well, what other information could you have had?
None. Oh, but wait a minute. Now, somebody tried to get into my room last night, and that couldn't have been Sam Evans. He couldn't have gotten into the house.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that.
Well, that rules him out.
But still, why does it have to? Now, let's suppose that Devlin's theory is true. Roger and Evans were in cahoots 10 years ago. Wouldn't they still be in cahoots?
What do you mean?
Well, they would both want to keep you quiet for separate reasons. So Roger might have tried to break into your room, and Evans might have tried to run you down.
I suppose it's possible. But I can't believe Mr. Evans would try to kill me.
Maybe not. But we do know he had a motive. Sheriff's office. I want to find out what's going on down there.
I'm very glad you're here in Collinsport, Frank. I feel a lot safer.
I'm glad to be here, Vicky. By the way, are you free for dinner tonight?
Completely free.
Good. I'll be back for you in about an hour, okay?
All right.
All right. See you later.
Have you seen David?
No, I haven't seen him since early this morning.
He isn't in his room, and I looked in the closed-off section of the house, and he isn't there either. He must be outside. It's dark. I'm worried. He shouldn't be out there all by himself.
I bet I know where he is.
Where?
He's probably gone to the old house to talk to some of his ghost friends.
Would you mind going down there, Vicky?
Of course not.
Wait a minute. Before you go, I'll phone Matthew's cottage. He might be there.
Hello?
Matthew, is David there?
No, ma'am. I haven't seen him.
Oh, he's disappeared. Would you search for him by the cliff?
He's more than likely at the old house.
Well, Miss Winters is going to look for him there. Will you search by the cliff?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Matthew.
He hasn't disappeared like this in a long time. I'm worried about him.
Well, don't be. I'll find him.
Sheriff, how long does it take your men to check out a simple alibi like Roger's?
Not long. As soon as they call, and if he's clear, Roger can leave. Oh, you back already?
Sheriff, where's Sam Evans?
I let him go.
Why? He couldn't account for his whereabouts last night when Vicky was almost killed.
Don't worry. We're keeping tabs on Mr. Evans.
I just talked to Vicky Winters. I think you better get Sam Evans back in here.
Why?
He could have withheld information in that manslaughter case 10 years ago. He could have gotten the idea that Vicky knew about it.
Frank, come here a minute. I want to talk to you.
What is it, Dad?
Listen, forget that manslaughter case. It's a dead issue, and Roger Collins was involved.
I don't care about Roger Collins. I care about finding the person who harmed Vicky. Look, Sheriff, if anyone thought that Vicky had information that was harmful to them, that would give them a motive for keeping her quiet. It's a lie.
I am aware of the logical assumption. I'm also aware that that's a very big if.
Frank, if I were you, I'd let the sheriff handle this in his own way.
Dad, I'm not out of this. And if I were you, Sheriff, I'd get Sam Evans back in here, and I'd do it now. Unless you're willing to risk another attempt on Vicky Winter's life. I'll see you later tonight, Dad.
I'll be at the hotel, Sheriff, if anything breaks.
George!
In here, Sam.
Now, what is this? What's going on? Don't you think dragging me down twice in the same day is a bit too much even for you?
I just want to ask you a few more questions, Sam.
I told you all I could possibly tell you when I was here before.
Coffee?
No.
I just want to talk to you about cars, Sam.
Cars. Now, what is this, a joke?
No? You don't own a car, do you?
You know I don't.
And you don't borrow Maggie's car very often either, do you?
Not often. I prefer getting about on foot. Why?
Well, I was just wondering why you happened to have Maggie's car last night.
My driver's license is in order, if that's what you want.
No, that isn't what I want. What I'm wondering is whether it's just a coincidence that you happen to have Maggie's car on the same night that someone tried to run Vicky Winters down.
Look, you still have the same idea that I tried to... You're out of your mind.
Maybe, but I don't like coincidences, Sam. It was a coincidence that you had Maggie's car. It was another coincidence that nobody saw you on the beach. There are just too many coincidences, Sam.
Are you so desperate to drum up suspects for this so-called murder attempt that you're going after innocent people?
I'm not going after innocent people. I'm just asking questions. And innocent people can answer questions.
I have. I already told you all I know about last night.
Have you?
Yes. I also told you I have no reason whatsoever to harm Vicky. Have you forgotten that?
No, I haven't forgotten. I just wonder if it's true, that's all.
Of course it's true. What reason would I have?
Well, maybe Vicky knew something that you didn't want anybody else to know.
What?
Maybe it had something to do with that manslaughter case that took place 10 years ago.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Is it?
Did Vicky tell you she had information?
No.
Well?
Well, maybe you thought she did, even if she didn't.
You're grasping at straws, and you know it, George. Vicky doesn't know anything that could hurt me. I have no reason whatsoever to harm that girl, and that's the truth.
If you really want to sell me, you better start thinking of some witness that saw you on the beach last night.
There wasn't anybody there. I already told you that.
Yes, and you didn't stop on the way back from the beach, did you?
No.
And no one saw you get into the car in front of the Blue Whale. No one saw you even pull away in the direction of the public beach.
The street was deserted.
Yes, and all that is coincidence.
What if it was? I've told you all I know, and that's the truth.
Is it? Sam, I think you're hiding something.
I never saw Vicky Winters again after she left the Blue Whale last night. Now, if somebody tried to kill her, it had to be somebody else. You've got the wrong man.
From the immeasurable depths of our oceans to the farthest stars in the galaxy, explore the mysteries that surround us on Inside Space, Sundays at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Stay tuned for more Dark Shadows next, only on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Dark Shadows has been a Dan Curtis production.